so I was requested to do a 1960s inspired tutorial by XOXO Glamour Gal 11. So I'm hoping this is what you were looking for. You said that you wanted it to be drugstore products and it to be appropriate for high school students. So this may be a little bit too dramatic for you for high school, obviously depending on how comfortable you are with makeup and what your school allows. But if you're older than high school students, I kind of wanted to make a look that anybody could wear, and you can just either tone it down if it's too dramatic or you can amp it up if it's not dramatic enough for you. So I've used all drugstore products, things that are relatively easy to get hold of. I actually went out this morning and picked up a couple of Natural Collection products. I've got this duo eyeshadow and this blush, which you'll see me use in the tutorial. I've never used Natural Collection products before and I'm actually really impressed with them. They're very pigmented for being a drugstore brand, and they are one of the cheaper drugstore brands as well. These were each $1.99 each, and if you go to Boots at the moment, they have a 3 for £5 deal on. So if you are looking to pick up some cheap drugstore makeup, I really recommend the Natural Collection. So in terms of the actual makeup look, for 1960s, I kind of looked up pictures, and the main pictures that were coming up were of Twiggy with the very defined line in the crease and then kind of neutral everything else. And I read on a few blogs and things that kind of peach cheeks and peach lips were kind of in the 60s, so that's kind of what I've gone for today. They also used to use like pastel colours on the lid, so things like pastel blues and baby pinks, so seafoam green, those kind of colours, but I've kind of kept it neutral because again I wanted it to be high school appropriate. So if this is too dramatic for you, I would suggest, when you'll see in the tutorial, but when I apply the first line of dark colour in my crease, perhaps just leaving it as that, keeping it very blended out. You also might want to skip the liner on the top lash line, and for mascara you may even want to go as far as just using a clear mascara. I would suggest using some sort of mascara just to make your eyes stand out more, but if black mascara is too harsh, you could go with a clear mascara. Obviously you don't have to use these colours, like I said, you could do this with a brown look, so use a very light sort of peachy champagne colour on the lid and then a brown in the crease, and you could keep that very light as well and perhaps use a brown mascara instead. Or if you wanted to make this more dramatic, you could obviously make a very, very defined line in the crease, make it a lot darker, make it a lot thicker as well, and you could obviously use false lashes. But I really like this look. Like I said, I've never really looked at 1960s makeup, so to kind of go out and pull together this look, I'm really quite pleased with it, and I kind of like the look of it, so I might wear this in future as well. I'm actually going to go out in a minute. I'm actually going to go running in a minute. So this is kind of a little bit made up to go running, but I really want to get this tutorial up and done first. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If it's not what you were looking for, please leave a comment or send me a message and just kind of give me a bit more information on what sort of look you wanted. Like I said, you can tone it down if this is too dramatic for you, or if you want something more dramatic, you can obviously make the colours darker, add false lashes and that kind of thing. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you want to see how to get this look, then keep watching. Okay, first of all, if you have sparse eyebrows, you might want to fill them in because eyebrows were a big focus of the 60s, but if you're not comfortable with doing that, then feel free to skip that step because the main focus was on eye makeup. So first of all, I'm taking my Stay Don't Stray primer from Benefit and just applying that to the lids, just so that the eyeshadows stick to my lids all day, and blend that in with my ring finger. Next I'm going to be taking my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk and just applying a little bit of that to the lid. Again, blending that in with my ring finger. This is going to make the colour we apply to the lid stand out just a little bit more. You also want to make sure you apply just a little bit to this very inner corner, because we're going to be taking the colour right into the inner corner. For eyeshadow, I'm going to be using this Natural Collection Duo Eyeshadow in Starlight and Midnight. Starlight is kind of a bluish grey, very light grey colour, and then Midnight is obviously a black. And these are both matte colours. Matte was a big feature of the 60s as well. And I'm going to be taking my Jemma Kid shader brush. This is just a very small shader brush because I want to get a lot of precision with this look. So picking up that lightest colour and apply that to the lids. You also want to make sure that you put it right into this inner corner. And I'm also going to be taking it up into the crease just a little bit, because this will go underneath the darkest colour that we're going to use, and it'll just help it kind of blend together a bit better and apply a bit better. You want to take it down at the outer corner and down at the inner corner, kind of creating a half moon shape. Then I'm just going to be taking my blending brush and just blending out this line up here. Now for the fun part, to draw this dark line in the crease. So I'm going to be taking my Jemma pencil brush, which is a more rounded pencil brush, and just dipping the tip into this darkest colour. Tap off the extra, and then you want to draw a line in the crease going all the way along, again creating sort of a half moon shape. It looks very scary when you first do this, but just bear with it. So take it right down at the outer corner, and then at the inner corner you want to bring it out slightly. Now, because we're trying to make this a more wearable look appropriate for high school students, I'm going to use whatever is left on the brush and just blend this line upwards slightly, just to soften it. If you wanted to go for a more truer 60s makeup, then you would want to keep this line as defined as possible. And this probably looks really intense and very blended out, but I'm going to go back with a cotton bud in a little while and just kind of take off the edges just to create a more sharp line. So we're just kind of building up the colour at the moment. Then I'm going to take an angled eyeliner brush, this is from e.l.f., and pick up some more of that colour, the darkest colour, and going to draw a line in the crease just to darken it up and make it a lot more defined. Going back to that pencil brush, just going to go over that line just a little bit and pull this colour down at the outer corner. Now I'm just going to take a plain cotton bud and I'm just going to go over this edge just to sharpen it up and redefine this upper edge. Okay, once you have that, just to define the lower part of that line, I'm just going to take the lighter colour in my shader brush again, just get a little bit on the tips of the bristles, and just go underneath that dark line, just to really make it stand out. Okay, next I'm going to take my NYX Jumbo Eye pencil again in Milk and just line my waterline. going to make your eyes appear bigger and brighter. Then going back to my angled eyeliner brush and the dark midnight colour, just going to get some of that on the bristles and use this as a shadow liner. So just lining the top lash line, connecting it at this outer corner to that line you've already created. I'm really impressed with the pigmentation of these eyeshadows. I didn't really expect much for them being so inexpensive, but I'm actually quite impressed with them. So if you want some cheap but pigmented eyeshadows, I suggest checking out Natural Collection, because at the moment they've got a deal on where it's 3 products for £5 on any Natural Collection items. So that's a really good deal. With the liner, in the 60s it would have been a lot bolder than this, but to try and keep it wearable and appropriate for high school students, I'm keeping it not quite so dramatic. Obviously it depends on your preference and what your high school allows and what you feel comfortable wearing. So the final step for the eyes is the eyelashes. So I'm just going to curl mine just to create a bit more drama. Then I'm going to be using my Maybelline OneByOne mascara and applying lots of coats. You want your lashes to be really thick and bold. And also don't forget your lower lashes, that's very important. That will kind of give you the kind of twiggy look. Okay, so that's it for the eyes. For the cheeks, I'm going to be using this Natural Collection blush in Peach Melba, which is just a nice matte peach blush. The kind of look of the 60s was, like I said before, the emphasis was very much on the eyes, very bold eye makeup, and then everything else was kept quite plain. Skin was flawless, and then they would use either a pale pink or a peach blush, and either a nude or a very pale pink or peach lips, just to kind of almost like make the rest of your face invisible, just so your eyes stand out. So I'm going to be taking my angled blush brush, getting some of this blush on my brush, and applying that to the apples of my cheeks and then blending it back. This blush is very pigmented as well. You do not need a lot of this, so that's great. Makes it last a lot longer. And then for lips, I'm just going to be using my Revlon lipstick in Peach, very appropriate name for a very appropriate colour. And then I'm just going to use my ring finger just to kind of tap on my lips, just to take off some of the colour so it's not quite as vibrant. Okay, so that's my 1960s inspired makeup for you. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it's what you were looking for. Like I said, I didn't have any idea really what 1960s makeup was, so I kind of had to do a bit of research, and this is kind of the look that I've come up with. Hopefully it, like I said, hopefully it's what you're looking for. And like I said at the beginning, there's different adaptations that you can make to this look to make it more wearable for school, or if you want it more dramatic for going out, or if you're slightly older and you're looking at this, you know, it may be more appropriate to be a little bit more dramatic. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!